Chris the Nightmare Ariola, and you're watching Mission Boxing Today on YouTube.
Heavyweight boxing fans, what's the deal? All right, man, so I'm seeing the news here that Joseph Parker and his team, looks like they're leaning towards Razvan Cojanu. People have been asking me my opinion. Now, before I get to that, I'm also going to go over Deontay Wilder and him calling out Joseph Parker. I'm going to touch on that a little later in the video. But before I get to my opinion about the Cojanu fight, let me go over some facts before I start going over my opinion, okay? It is a fact that Cojanu is rated in the WBO's top 15. He was rated number 14. All right, so Parker and his team, once they found out that, I guess they're saying Hughie Fury has a back injury. I guess that's what they're going with, is a back injury. Once they found out that he pulled out the fight, the WBO president came forward and said if they do fight May 6th, that it has to be against a top 15 WBO opponent, and it'll be a voluntary defense, all right? So some of the guys that I was suggesting, and one of the guys even came out on his social media and said he would take the fight, was Dominic Breazeale, Christian Hammer, Jarrell Miller. All those guys are in the top 5 of the WBO. Those are guys that I was suggesting. What are we, like 12 days away from the fight? So probably wasn't realistic to make some of those fights. I'm not sure how much money Breazeale and those guys were asking for. Parker's promoter did say, Dave Higgins did say, was it yesterday or the day before yesterday, he said that they were in talks with 4 different fighters, or three or four different fighters. It was a radio interview, and the guy giving him the interview was asking him, could he reveal some names, and he said no. You know, so they were talking to, I believe it was 3 or 4 guys in the top 15. I wish they would just give us the names, or at least try to give us the names after they sign. If this Cojanu was going to take the fight, at least just give us the names, you know what I mean? But they, you know, it is what it is, all right? So I'm sure Cojanu, pretty much out of all the guys, you know, they can get him at a cheap price. They're familiar with him. He is a guy, Cojanu is a guy that Joseph Parker has sparred. I know he got Parker ready for the Dimitrenko fight. He had him in camp for Dimitrenko, and I believe, don't quote me on this, but I believe Cojanu was just in camp with Parker again, getting him ready for Hughie Fury. Cojanu's a big guy. He's 6'8". I know his last fight, he weighed over 280 pounds, but usually I know that when I seen him on the Boxino tournament, I believe he was like 260. So he's a big dude. He has a lot of amateur experience, hundreds of amateur fights. I believe he's Romanian. So he's a, you know, he has some experience with Parker. You know, they kind of know each other's style. I think it's a total mismatch. Just the hand speed department. Cojanu, his 1 KO loss, I actually seen that on ESPN when he was in a Boxino tournament. And Dennis laid him out with a left hand, man, put him to sleep. You know, and it was just the hand speed. You know, Cojanu, sometimes he can go into the high guard, let you get off, then he'll come out of it and try to throw punches. Big dude, durable. He's been in a lot of training camps before. I just think the hand speed, Parker's going to give him trouble. I think Parker's going to work his body. And I think Parker's mobility, even when he moves and stick and moves, I think his hand speed is just going to give Cojanu problems, man. So if this is the fight that comes about, that's fine. I understand the circumstances. Although I wanted to see Breazeale possibly, or maybe a Jarrell Miller or Christian Hammer, if those guys could have taken the fight. All right, Breazeale said he would have took it. I don't know why they didn't select him. I'm not sure how much money he was asking for. I'm not sure why they didn't select Breazeale. Now, this is according to the reports I'm hearing about Cojanu being the guy that's going to possibly get the fight. All right, so that's my opinion. I'm fine with it. 12 days notice. I think it'd be a plus in regards of, I think Parker's going to win it pretty handily. So maybe, you know, so hopefully it could be a quick fight, maybe a 3-4 round fight where he doesn't get hurt, no injuries. And then Parker can have a quick turnaround. Now, you know, Parker and his team, at least before he won the title, he always had quick turnarounds, man. Parker, you know, I know he fought Takam. Then right after the Takam fight, he was right back in there with somebody else, like literally the next Monday after the Takam fight, he was right back in the presser. He did a press conference for the Solomon Haumanu fight. You know what I mean? So he has quick turnarounds, man. Parker, you know, he's usually, I know last year he had a busy year. So it would not surprise me if this fight doesn't go that long, or maybe it does go 12, but it's an easy fight that he coasts through. It wouldn't surprise me if Parker's right back in the ring in July or August. You know, it wouldn't surprise me, especially if this fight, if it's a quick fight. Yeah, because I believe he fought Dimitrenko. I don't have the dates in front of me, but I know he fought Dimitrenko. Then literally like the next month, he was right back in there with Ruiz. Was it 2 months? I forget, man, but I know he usually have quick turnarounds. All right. So I'm cool with that. All right. Now with Wilder coming out, calling out Parker, a lot of people that are watching the video, I think they were getting Wilder's message mixed up when they were watching the video. And Wilder and he left this message under that post that he left on Instagram saying that he wanted Parker in July. And what he was saying was pretty much, you know, just disregard this May 6th date, scrap the date. Now, this is a date that Parker and his team, I heard his team say, his Dave Higgins said that if they cannot find an opponent for May 6th, they will just scrap the date and try to get Parker back in the ring July or August. All right, so, but it looks like they're going to go with Cojanu. But, yeah, so Wilder said July, he wanted Parker. He said scrap the date and just let's push it back to July. All right, now, if you guys been watching my channel, if you just happened to just now view my channel, I did a video two days ago when the news first broke out that Hughie Fury was pulling out of the fight. I said before Wilder came out with that call-out video and before I heard Parker and his team say if they can't get a credible opponent by May 6th, that they're going to possibly have Joe come back July and August. Before I heard Wilder say August and Parker's team, I mean, yeah, July or August, his team said that. I was saying July the whole time. If you guys go watch that video from a few days ago, I said that the fight we need is Wilder versus Parker in July. If it were up to me, just scrap this date and then you guys negotiate and have a fight in July. All right. So, yeah, so Wilder said July. People were asking me about Stiverne. Am I overlooking Stiverne? What about Stiverne? What about Stiverne? Hey, man, your guess is as good as mine. I mean, shouts out to Baylor Rick. When Baylor Rick had Stiverne on live last week, I was in the chat when he was on live with him, and I asked Stiverne, I put the video up, the clip up of him answer my question. He says, yeah, he's going to fight Wilder, but he didn't seem as confident, you know. And I just heard I'm gonna leave the link to this video too if you guys haven't caught it yet on Fight News or Fight Hype. I'm sorry, Fight Hype. So shouts out to Fight Hype, their YouTube channel. They just did a interview with Wilder. And Wilder seemed pretty adamant with his message, man. He says, and this is what he said, he has no interest in fighting Stiverne whatsoever. It was kind of a funny interview, man, because, you know, you could just listening to Wilder. I haven't hung around Wilder. I haven't interviewed Wilder, but just listening to him, man, I didn't hear you know, when I'm listening to him, it doesn't sound like he was being fake. It seemed like he was being very genuine. Unless he's a great actor, you can just tell in his voice, man, that he does not want anything to do with a Stiverne rematch. Nothing to do with it, regardless of what the WBC making him the mandatory. I'm talking about what I hear from Wilder, from his voice, man, from what I took in at least. If you guys listen to it, man, maybe you guys will hear something else, but it don't really seem like he wants nothing to do with this. And he went over everything that I've been saying about the inactivity of Stiverne. The one fight Stiverne did have against Derek Rossi, he struggled, and it was a debatable fight that could have went either way. He got knocked down in the first round with a clean right hand. It was a clean knockdown. And I know Stiverne, man, is a warrior when it comes to fighting in the ring. He goes for it, win, lose, or draw, whether you like his style or not. I like Stiverne as far as when he's in the ring, but you haven't done anything to deserve this, bro. Like, and that's just being dead honest with you. And Wilder says something else that a lot of fans, we've been saying this too, that the WBC, although the situation happened with Povetkin, he was supposed to fight Stiverne. Okay, with that said, though, Stiverne should still have to fight someone. I mean, and Wilder suggested it be Luis Ortiz. And I suggested, I mean, somebody in that WBC, man, whether it's Dillian White. I know Dillian White has a fight coming up with Marius Wack, but this was before he signed to fight Wack. I was saying maybe Dillian White, maybe Andy Ruiz Jr., Dominic Brazil, somebody. You know what I mean? So, I don't know, man. Hopefully Wilder, he could try to, I don't know, man, pay not Parker, but pay Stiverne some type of step aside money. But I don't know, man. I really don't know what that. Don King is he has powerful influence over the WBC, man. So, man, I kind of share Wilder's pain as far as this Stiverne shit. It's like man, just nobody wants that fight, man. Nobody wants. It's just an unwarranted fight right now. But so a lot of people didn't believe Wilder about the Parker fight, or him calling out Parker. They didn't think it was genuine. I think it is, man. I mean, when are we gonna? I mean, we can't just. I mean, well, you can do what you want, but me, I'm not gonna pick and choose. If somebody's calling a guy out, man, I can tell a fake call out versus a real one, and I think this was a real call out. Now, some people are saying, well, if it was a real call out, he should have said May 6th. Well, that's the thing. He doesn't want to fight May 6th. What he's saying is just push this back and then let's get in the ring, you know, what, 2 months after that in a unification fight. You know what I mean? So I understand where Wilder was coming from. And I understand some of the fans saying, well, if you want the fight, take it May 6th. But it's not about the May 6th date. You know, he was saying in July. I know he said I'm ready right now, but the way I took it was he's ready. Let's get this fight made. Let's start negotiations. I'm ready to start negotiations. Let's get it made for July. And then the winner out of our fight between Wilder and Parker will fight the winner out of Joshua versus Klitschko late in the year, maybe December. Now, a lot of people are saying, okay, well, what about Stiverne? And then what about Luis Ortiz and Pulev? They supposed to get their title shots. WBA, Ortiz is the mandatory. IBF, Pulev is the mandatory. And you guys are right. You know what I mean? I'm not saying that Pulev or Ortiz are not credible heavyweights. Both of those guys are in my top 10, you know, so I'm not trying to overlook those guys. But, and I've been saying this, man, maybe the WBA and the IBF should have worked together on this. And just, why, you know, I think this makes the most sense. Why not have Ortiz versus Pulev? Then the winner of that gets a unification title fight against the winner of the AJ versus Klitschko. Now, some people will argue that, say, well, why? They have already earned their title shots for that one title, but shit, have them fight again, you know, or have those guys fight, and then, you know, the reward will be a unification fight versus just fighting for one title. And on top of that, Pulev is fighting anyways. It's not like Pulev has just been sitting out waiting. He's fighting anyways. He fought Samuel Peter in December, and now he's getting ready to fight Kevin Johnson. Speaking of that, they just had the press conference for that. So he's getting ready to fight Kevin Johnson. So it's not like he's just sitting out completely. And then Luis Ortiz, well, he was scheduled to fight Derek Rossi last Saturday, but he pulled out because of a hand injury. He was getting ready to fight Rossi. So it's kind of like, I mean, these dudes are fighting anyways. Why not just fight for that? You know what I mean? So, because I'd be damned if Kevin Johnson beats Pulev, which I don't think it'll happen, but let's just say Kevin Johnson beats Pulev. So what, does Kevin Johnson get the IBF title shot? You know, no, of course not. Not in that situation. You know what I mean? So to me, get the guys some good money and you can have Pulev versus Ortiz and then the winner move on. That's how I would have had it, you know, but I understand it's different sanctioning bodies and both these guys earn their title shots for those sanctioning bodies. You know, so it is what it is, man. So Wilder, I guess we got to see what's going on with this Stiverne thing. If it were up to me, man, Stiverne would get some step aside money. No, I'm not overlooking Stiverne being the mandatory, but nobody wants to see it. And he didn't earn this shit, man. And it was good to hear Wilder say that he has no interest, but you know, it's really not up to Wilder what the WBC wants to do, though, man. So if they make him get in there with them, I hope Wilder's mind is in the right place when he gets in there and he's not overlooking him because he doesn't want to fight him because he dominated him the first time. Hopefully he's ready to knock him out. And listening to Wilder, he was saying a lot of stuff about Stiverne, man. He was saying if they fight again, that he might end up killing him in the ring, that he might catch a case killing him in the ring. He was talking a lot of shit about Stiverne, man, so I don't want to mix up all of his words. So you guys check out that interview. I'll leave in the description box that Fight Hype interview with Wilder. But yeah, what else did I want to cover, man? Yeah, and as far as like the prospect news and the lower tier type of heavyweights and some of the under the radar type of fights, I'm going to do those. I'm still going to cover those guys, but I'm going to do it like in one video to get those guys more views. Because when I do some of these dudes individually, it really doesn't make any sense when only a few hundred people come and watch that one video. So I want to, you know, let some weeks pass by and then do a big roundup of the prospects and the up-and-coming contenders and some of the under-the-radar fights. Charles Martin is fighting tonight, so when I figure out that result, I'll probably, if I can find a clip of the fight, probably do a post-fight on that one. But just want to get my opinion about this Joseph Parker Cojanu fight while they're calling out Parker for July. Shit, man, like I said, man, hopefully, you know, Parker goes in here and he gets rid of Cojanu, man, quick. Maybe 1 or 2 rounds, and then we set up the fight with if Wilder's still available and he still wants to fight in July, make it happen. You know, and Parker, like I said, he's fought in quick turnarounds before, so it won't, like, you know, this won't be foreign to him. You know, it's not like he's a dude that needs 7 months. You know what I mean? He's not that type of dude. So, you guys let me think in the comment section about this, man. It's fight week with Klitschko and Joshua. I cannot wait, man. But you guys let me know what you think, man. I'm out.